Hey everybody, I'm Dave from Growing the Home Garden. Today I'm going to put in a couple of tomato plants. It's about that time, about 2 weeks after the frost date, so I'm just slightly early to put in tomato plants. And these here are Amish paste tomatoes that I grew from seed. Healthy looking plants. And let me just show you a few things about growing tomatoes and how to plant them the right way. It's a way that I've done for years and is always very successful because of some of the things that it entails. Let me show you. First thing, I'm going to take my tomato plant, I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to go here and I'm going to pinch off all the leaves up to there. Okay, in fact, I'm going to take one more off. Now when I go to plant this in the garden, which I'm going to do here in just a minute, I'm going to put everything from here down under the ground. And what's going to happen is that this stem is going to grow roots everywhere along that stem, and it's going to make a stronger, more drought resistant tomato plant for me in the future. It will catch up with that advanced root system. It's going to catch up on the growth that we lost because of this, and it's going to make it an even better and healthier tomato plant. So let's dig into it and let me show you how it works. So the first thing to do here is to create a good hole for it. I got to go deep enough that it's going to have good root growth all along that stem area. And so for that, I'm going to have to dig down probably about 8 inches or so. This is a different plant. I'm going to do 3 of them. And if you notice, I've done them in these coconut pots and the roots are hanging right out. They're really good for that. So the roots are ready to go. It's just a matter of getting them planted where I want them to go in the garden. So I'm going to do 3 Amish paste tomato plants, and I'm going to plant them in a row together. Okay, so first step is just to dig in the dirt. Make a good hole. Now we had some rain, so we're clumping up a little bit. I'm going to break up the soil a bit as we go. It's good to have some nice healthy soil here. Even when you have clay in the soil, it's not so bad. You know, clay's got a lot of nutrients in it, and if you just amend it with compost and things like that over time, it'll bring out those nutrients and be available for the plant themselves. So like I did with the other one, I'm going to go on and pinch this back here. Trim off all these leaves on the side as far up as I want to go. And you see there, it's like putting about 2 up here at the top. And that's kind of what I'm leaving, plus that center growth up there. I'm going to check out my hole, and I think that's just about right. I'll show you a closer up picture here in just a minute. So here's the hole where the tomato is. You can see, as far as level goes, that the tomato itself, the leaves and foliage is going to be up above the soil level when I backfill. But before I backfill, I'm going to add something to it. I'll show you. So into this hole, I'm going to add a little bit of this, which is garden ground. It's just a general fertilizer that you put in, and fertilizer rating is 344, so that's NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, so the 3, although I think I got them out of order. And I'm just going to open up this bag. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit around it. That's how I measure around here. Not in precise amounts, but in imprecise amounts, apparently. So all I do is I come in here and backfill, take out any roots from soil, from what I excavated before, and I am going to fill it in all the way around. And I want the dirt to come up here and compact right around the stem of the tomato plant. I realize you're not really seeing that because the camera's at a bad angle. So what I did is I filled up the hole and compacted right around to just leave the top couple leaves up above the soil. Real easy, okay? And I've kind of mounded it a little bit, and I tapered it off so that there's a little bit of kind of a moat around there. And so when it waters, the water will come out here to the edges of where I planted it, and will seep in out there, which will help encourage those roots to grow outward. And if you notice, when I did the fertilizer, I didn't put it down in the bottom. I put it out to the sides because I want those roots to stretch and grow and be really strong roots that are reaching out for nutrition and not just sticking right here in the hole. The more we can do that, the better. So that's basically how you plant the tomato. I'm going to go ahead and do these next couple tomatoes, so we'll have 3 tomatoes planted. Another way you can do this, particularly if your tomato plants have gotten kind of leggy, do the exact same thing. And maybe you don't want to dig that deep, but if you plant them sideways and then pop that end up, you can do it the same way and still develop a nice root system. But I prefer to do it deep because I always think that if you're going to do it horizontally, you run the risk of maybe cutting it when you're cultivating around it, or if you're digging around it, or if you're planting other plants, like maybe companion planting basil next to it. So I just want to be careful about doing that. So I prefer doing it just straight down rather than messing with the old sideways technique there. But all of these are going to go in about the same. I'm planting the almond paste all together because if there's any cross-pollination and I decide that I want to harvest the seeds, then I can just do that with more confidence, not perfect confidence. Sometimes if you have a seed that you're saving, it can cross-pollinate with other things around it. So you notice here I'm pulling up some weed roots as I go. Johnson grass is a bad grass around this area, and it gets these really big knots. And the problem is they're hard to pull up everything. You'll break them off, and so I just do the best we can, and we just kind of hand weed everything and try to keep them down. I'm not sure they'll ever be eliminated. I think that's just an effort and frustration if you expect that. So, and here is the final tomato to go in here. I think I'm going to have between 14 and 16 tomato plants this year. I've done more, but time is one of those things that it's hard to come by sometimes. The more you put out, the more you have to take care of. So I'm trying to manage it better. I think one year I had 30 something varieties of tomato plant. 18's cutting back a bit. Alright, you know what? I did not dig this deep enough. So, what I'm going to do is just kind of continue to mound it up on the sides. Oop, popping the bees. Build up the soil, mound it, just like that. Get some of these weeds out of here. Bermuda grass is another one I'm not a fan of. So after this, we need to come in with some mulch of some kind, possibly use some grass clippings on it. Keep the weeds down from there. Now when planting tomatoes, you want to make sure that you give them a good spacing Here I've got them about 2 feet apart, maybe a little bit further than that. You could even probably stand to push them out a little further away from each other, just because you want to avoid any kind of fungal diseases. And one way you do that is by creating a good environment for air circulation. So good air circulation is important. That's also another part when it comes to pruning a tomato plant that you need to pay attention to. That's one of the main reasons why you do prune one. The other one, of course, is to create more fruit for yourself, or better fruit, not necessarily more fruit. Because the more branches you have on it, the more fruit you're going to get, but it's going to be smaller fruit. So anyway, that's what you got here with these tomatoes. And you'll see I've started the mulching process on this one using some already dried grass clippings that we had thrown on another bed. The grass clippings are a very good resource that you can use in your garden if you are careful to avoid weed seeds, and making sure that you don't have anything that could take root, things like Bermuda grass and stuff like that, because it can be a pain to get out of the garden once it's in there. That's all there is to it. You need to water. Tomorrow is probably going to be raining on us, and whenever you pick a day that you're planting right before a rain, that's a really great day, because it's overcast, they're getting watered in, they're not going to get burnt, and they're not going to get shocked. So really that's all there is to planting tomatoes, and just kind of monitor them, watch them, take care of them as you go. So I appreciate you watching, and if you have questions, drop them down in the comments and let me know what you think and how do you like to plant tomatoes. So thanks, like and subscribe, and have a great one.